We are live. This is the market update. I am your host, Bill Noble. Stocks down, bonds up. All right, maybe a little fear. Okay. Oil crashes. Oh, now wait a minute. Bitcoin bid for now. Somebody smell decoupling? Oh, I do. Oh, I do. The question is how to trade it. We'll go over that. 63 banks in trouble with the FDIC. Good luck talking about that on public social media. If the FDIC says 63 banks are in trouble, they're all in trouble. They're all in trouble. This is going to have a material impact. Now, the question is, are we going to have a minor disturbance in legacy and a range in crypto? Are we going to have a major disturbance in legacy, volatility in crypto with Bitcoin and real world asset coins outperforming, ding, 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 ding? Or should you just get out and come back at the end of the month? I really hope it's not that, but some of this legacy stuff has got me wondering if it's going to be kind of Bitcoin and ETH and RWA. We'll go through all of that. Let's welcome who's here. Keita Sira first on the stream. Welcome. Peter, Silent Lamb, Lisa V, good morning. Corey, Brandon, Busy, hello. X, Breakfast Stroll, Marvin, Flo, Leo, today's Tech Bites, Brandon, Nicholas, welcome. P Saint here. Manny, Railroaded, Miguel, the OGs, Gray, Malik, another one, welcome. Lucas, Arindam, good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are. Okay, we are going to start with some TA. Now, bonds, the U.S. government debt debacle. Oh my God, don't touch bonds. Uh-oh, wait a second. Okay. This is the long bond futures contract, ZB, on an 89-minute chart. That means bonds are rising and interest rates are falling. Is that good for Bitcoin? Yes, it is. Okay, if bonds keep rallying because something is terribly wrong, that may not be good for altcoins. But for now, hey, I'll take it. I will take it. Okay, let's get into news. There's a lot. There is a lot. Okay, according to Forbes, Bitcoin inflation now 75% less than the current U.S. rate post-halving. Bitcoin spot ETFs 15-day inflow streak as Wisconsin starts buying Bitcoin. An important notice about Bitcoin. If stocks are weak, if corporate bonds are weak, if oil falls out of bed, it becomes a no-brainer. Let me say that again. An absolute no-brainer for a portfolio manager to go, you know what? I'm going to move some of my tech holdings, or I'm going to take losses on some of my stocks, which a lot of stocks are down. I'm going to take losses on my stocks and move it to the Bitcoin ETF. Right. That's why any disturbance in legacy might be a nothing burger for Bitcoin. Right. Because, you may have this continued allocation. Now, if there's a very big decline, there's no sign of that right now. Bottom line is big players moving into Bitcoin aggressively. This is not going to stop. Now, GameStop just figured out yesterday, just cannot talk about this anywhere. You can talk about it on TikTok because a lot of people on TikTok are running around trying to figure out what's going on. The E-Trade bans Roaring Kitty. This is significant. First of all, when they close your account, it's not like crypto where you just type in the new address and move across the blockchain. When they close your account, you've got to fill out paperwork to transfer the account somewhere else. Somebody has to accept the account. I have no idea what legacy compliance department's going to go, oh, yeah, Roaring Kitty, come on over. Come on over. We love the SEC investigating us. No. Okay. So this will slow this guy down. Now, it's also confirmation with Morgan Stanley, who owns E-Trade, doing this. Somebody big is in trouble. Somebody big is in trouble. This is absolutely not about tweeting and manipulating stocks. Get real. I mean, people tweet their positions all the time. And GameStop is a mid-cap company at best. So it's not like we're manipulating some huge piece of the equity market. Somebody is in trouble. And I'm guessing that it wasn't the SEC that called Morgan Stanley. I'm guessing it was the Fed or the Treasury. We do not need a giant insolvent hedge fund. Now, I realize there is a huge desire to stick it to the man. But when you see this, you know that if GameStop goes to 100, you're going to have a hedge fund blow up. Personally, I would settle for just like a little bit of a squeeze and some fun on Twitter. We'll go over the chart soon. Actually, we'll go over the chart now. Okay, so here's the GameStop 15-minute chart. So I know you guys like TA mixed in with the news. So when you have this 15-minute chart, there's a gap around 2380. Okay. Now, if GameStop comes down here and tests this gap and dip buyers show up, with maybe Roaring Kitty having to take a break, then you know people want this and someone's in trouble. Gaps in equities get filled normally, right? In other words, here's a gap. They come down, they travel into it, it holds, it goes back up. Could they be doing the same thing here? They could. But if it holds, there's something bad out there. So, yeah, cheer for GameStop. Let's stick it to the man, but let's not get too giddy because that can have systemic impact. Is that an issue for Bitcoin now? No. Okay. Massachusetts regulator probes Roaring Kitty. Again, the phone is ringing and everyone is like, get this guy off the air. Speaking of get this guy off the air, I can't tell if it's theatrics or what it was, but, political talk show host Alex Jones was claiming they were going to shut down his company, and they still may shut down his company in 2 weeks because of bankruptcy proceeding. Now, I don't know whether he is telling the truth or not about the possibility of an imminent shutdown, but clearly the government is not interested in free speech. They're not. No government is. And this is why we crypto. This is why you have to remember, like, hey, if I have an altcoin or it's down or Arrow goes to $1, should I just give up? Because I heard people at Consensus going, yeah, I sold everything and walked away. That's not the right thing to do. It's not. Time in the market matters. Free speech matters. Freedom in crypto matters. The Australian Bitcoin ETF launches. Heidi ho. Right? The United States, Hong Kong aren't the only places who want it. People need alternatives to legacy assets. And they need some diversification, right? I mean, if Bitcoin goes to 100K and equities do nothing or go down, that's going to make a difference in a portfolio manager's return. Thailand approves the first spot Bitcoin ETF. Anyone seeing a pattern here? I am. Every sovereign, every country, every broker-dealer, everybody is going to want to get this Bitcoin ETF out because they want investment firms and pension funds in their country to buy their country's Bitcoin ETF. And some of these countries, if they can't get enough Bitcoin, they're going to start mining it. Now, again, another warning sign. Indian stocks crash after a political event. Mexican stocks crash. Mexican currencies crashed 2 days ago. It wasn't the end of the world. No, but, you have bonds rallying, oil crashing, foreign stock markets crashing, and I'm looking at legacy going, okay, yeah, I definitely want to get me some Bitcoin, but you can't rule out further volatility at this point. I don't want to be the legacy boy who cried wolf. I've done that a couple times. I don't want to make too much out of it. But be advised, right? You got to have stop losses underneath positions, because the last thing you want is to have DCA'd for a month. Now, if you can do more DCA, that's great. But you need to make sure you protect capital with some of this news that's out there. Okay, job openings fall to the lowest level since February. Gee, is the economy rolling over? Are there no full-time jobs? Very convenient how the administration gets these job figures out right as they need rate cuts in front of the political conventions. And you know what? I still think they got to cut. They got to cut. I don't care what anybody says. Like, oh, there's not going to be any rate cuts. They're never cutting rates. Okay. 63 banks in trouble. How are you not going to have a problem in the financial system and the stock market with that number of banks in trouble? And if the Fed prints to save them all, you're going to wind up with a political issue and the dollar lower. So 63 banks on the brink of default, 500 billion in paper losses, right? We talked about this yesterday, unrealized losses inside banks, some of which they can get out of, some of which they can't. Okay. Growth is down. Inflation is up. 50% of Americans believe we're in a recession. You get the point, right? Again, these guys who do this, sort of like economic disaster scenarios, they've got a lot to work with every day. 65% of the middle class struggling. 33% of people surveyed face extreme pressure on their debt. Okay. And, 33% of respondents are concerned about their ability to pay for an emergency. People, this is why we Bitcoin. This is why even if they drop the market, even if there's a down move, I personally think crypto's coming right back, and that includes real world assets. In other words, if you have a problem in legacy, you have a possible problem in legacy, that gives real world assets kind of like, I don't know, an unending bid right up until any kind of crisis hits, assuming it happens. Right. I mean, it's like, look at it. Dusk, Ohm is down today, but Ondo is up only. Goldfinch looks like a buy. Even Arrow looks like a buy after being down. So these type of things, President Biden says they won't rule out U.S. military force if China invades Taiwan. Under no scenario developed by our intelligence service does it come out good for us if we go do that. Absolutely ridiculous. Meanwhile, El Salvador owns 5,770 Bitcoin worth $402 million. I mean, if they keep this up and Bitcoin goes to 100, I mean, they could wind up being like Switzerland. I don't know how anybody's going to afford to live there. Okay, back to the economy. Microsoft just laying off hundreds, right? All these tech companies, they're either reallocating to AI, or they're just taking business units that don't work. They're using the fact that their stock price is way up and they're just cutting. Because, the funny thing about stocks being way up is that the bar that they have to jump over for earnings gets higher and higher and higher. Right? So if you have 5 stocks leading the whole market, which you do, 5 stocks account for 27% of the S&P. So these 5 companies, ironically, you're like, oh yeah, things are great. We're rocking. No, right? They have to continue to jump over these high earnings expectations, resulting in layoffs. Like real full-time jobs haven't been around for 6 months. Just a question of when this all shows up in the data. It shows up in the data when the administration wants it to show up in the data, when they need rate cuts. U.S. diesel demand for March hits 26-year seasonal low. Again, oil crashing, right? Our strategic petroleum reserve is empty and oil is still crashing. We got to buy a lot of oil. Market doesn't care. Market is down only. 3 of 5 Americans believe the U.S. is in a recession. Okay, now this is interesting. The last time all coins broke out above this certain particular channel, all right, was 4 years ago. Back then, we saw a buy signal and then a super trend. Alt season is close. Now, that would be fantastic if you had rates fall organically and real world assets led the way out, followed by AI. This is very possible, right? In other words, as long as Bitcoin is not down or Ethereum is not down, then, you can start looking at these coins. Do you have to have a stop loss? Yes. So the way I would do it is you would have a core position where you're trying to stay long, and then you might have more speculative trades where you're trying to jump on a real world asset move, and you put a stop in. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And you come back at the end of June and you add to your bigger position. And that is how I would do it. Van X CEO says Bitcoin to become at least half the market cap of gold. Okay. Bitcoin's market cap to go up to 7.8 trillion. Bitcoin has to catch up with other assets. People are like, oh, Bitcoin is so high. Bitcoin is at the all-time high. It doesn't matter. If you look at the value of Bitcoin versus other assets, which could include gold, which could include NVIDIA, which includes Microsoft, Bitcoin is cheap compared to all these other assets. And what's even funnier is gold could go to $5,000 an ounce due to certain peculiarities in the gold market that make everybody short. Everyone's short gold. Everyone. So can you imagine if gold doubles, what implications that would have for Bitcoin? Oh my God. Software glitch blamed for NYSE market break. Okay, well, computers don't always work, but it's still creepy. It's creepy that you have a technical glitch and stocks halted on the day you're having a problem with GameStop. It kind of feels like a distraction to me. It's like, oops, the software broke on the same day that GameStop was gapping up. So they just created an alternative headline. Exercise may be more effective than antidepressants in treating depression. Why is this in the market update? Well, because sometimes in crypto, you feel bad. Really, you feel bad. It happens to me, right? I kind of started to get with the program a little bit today. Oh, wow, look at this. We've signed an executive order limiting border crossings. Wow. How many people did we let in? 12 million? 7, 12? It depends who you talk to. This election thing, it's almost like the guys that are in office are trying to lose on purpose. And heaven forbid they put Trump in jail. I mean, that would be a signal that they actually want to create social disorder, which scares me. But this is why we crypto. This is why we crypto. I mean, I could take every single one of these news articles and go, this is why we crypto. 20% of New York City hotels are now migrant shelters. Oil prices are down nearly 10% in 5 days over weakening global demand. Rates down. Now, this I don't like. 455,000 tokens launched on Solana in May. And I think I had a tweet in here that said Pump.Fund's revenue skyrocketed. Is this it? Wait. Yeah, Pump.Fund, $30 million in revenue. So this is people getting rugged. And, some coins make it, and that's good, but most don't. The crypto market has a unique way of hurting itself, right? Like, this is why we crypto. And then we go to Pump.Fund and lose money. Or we go to Pump.Fund and get taken advantage of by predators. So yes, it's great that you can innovate on Solana, and I'm not trying to rain on innovation. But when I see people in mania mode, that frankly scares me. A little bit of fear is healthy. A little bit of fear is healthy. A little bit of scary stuff going on in legacy. Bitcoin can climb the wall of worry, but you know what? I really, really wish that either we could get into quality memes, I don't know, maybe the political memes or memes that have to do with celebrities. We got to go beyond dogs, cats, and frogs in Pump.Fund. Pump.Fund is good, but, I'd like to go beyond that if possible. Now, speaking of that, The base ecosystem, TVL, hits all-time high. Everybody thinks everyone's going to forget about base. They're not. Okay. Bitcoin transaction value hits yearly high with $25 billion moving. People, they are absolutely pouring into Bitcoin. And again, the ultimate sign of the bottom, I swear, I said the day they put this guy in jail is the day 2022 ends and the day this thing goes up. Honestly, this is the most bullish thing out there. This guy's going to do 4 months in prison for what? For what? Having him be away from his family. This is a community service thing. It's a community service thing. Okay. So D-Sun says pump.fun is so troll. The Solana ecosystem is truly a casino. You're right. It is. I'm okay with casinos. There's a casino in Las Vegas. But clearly, Solana has to go beyond that, and speculative excesses do get purged. So be advised about, like, if you're in Bitcoin, you're in ETH, you're in real-world assets, maybe you're in some AI. Okay, you want to take risk there. You want to play on a rug chain with legacy teetering? No. Okay. Which countries are lowering interest rates this week? Well, I don't know that exactly, but I do know the Europeans want to do it sooner rather than later, particularly in the United Kingdom. I would not be surprised if the next meeting for the ECB was a rate cut. Okay. Kenneth, good morning. Stefan. Okay. Looks like full-blown meme coin season. I'm up on 2/3 by more than 10x in 2 days, and the rest is still down like Arrow and so on. Okay, yeah. So big memes are getting attention. I personally think hedge funds are chasing that stuff because they just want beta, right? They just want, hey, I mean, we can pull up some charts and take a look. I mean, Popcat is incredible. I talked about it. It went straight down and came straight back. Right? The big memes, for whatever reason, hedge funds are chasing. So Popcat taking out resistance here on a daily chart. Okay. Bonk never got to its head and shoulders bottom target up here. So technically speaking, this could turn around and make a new high, and they're after MOG as well. All right. Now, I know this is going to sound strange coming from me because I almost never get necessarily negative. But if this market gives you 2 days of upside, right, and you have a chance to take some money off the table, right, like Bitcoin's probably going to go to 72 or 73. So if you get a robust crypto rally over the next 48 hours because interest rates are coming down, payroll numbers on Friday, right? You get a blow off top in memes, take the money. Take the money. Right? There's nothing wrong with taking profits if you're up big. Normally I don't talk like that, but you know, like I said, there's too many things going on. Too many things going on to not take money if you got it. Now you can rotate from memes to real world assets because I can tell you right now, the first problem in legacy, you know, you'll have crypto do this, and then Bitcoin and Ondo and all these coins will just explode. Okay, going to PowerPoint now. Okay, GameStop, as we said, the best thing that can happen for crypto is that GameStop would just chill out, and that was the last spike. Upside in GameStop is not good for crypto. It isn't. Okay, S&P monthly, we talked about this yesterday. This could be a 5-wave trend over thing. Let's hope not. Let's hope not. Okay, QQQ weekly. This is NASDAQ 100, probably led by 5 stocks. You do have a 13 top on the weekly chart. The last time you had one, QQQ was soft for 6 to 8 weeks. Now, if it's just like a normal downtrend like this is amazing for the Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs. In other words, I look at this chart and I'm like, you know what? If I got to stay long, I'm not going to be long the 5 stocks that are good, or I'm going to stay long the 5 stocks and I'm going to add stuff that's down, or I'm going to add Bitcoin or Ethereum. It just makes sense. It's just sector rotation. Now, interest rates, as we discussed yesterday, 2007, when the 5-year government bond gets to a 5% interest rate, you've had very sharp declines in interest rates start from there. You have new highs in interest rates, lower highs in momentum indicators. This is a recipe for lower rates on weaker economic data or bank failures. This is potentially giga bullish for Bitcoin as long as you don't have a meltdown in stocks. I mean, lower rates and trouble in legacy, it's the decoupling. It's the decoupling. Ondo, real world assets, nothing's going to stop it. Nothing. Not after what I heard at Consensus, period. End of story. Any type of disturbance in the market is just going to make these guys go after these trades harder. And Ondo is possible top 5, right? Ethereum is holding 3,700. Not going to make a problem where there isn't a problem. Not going to make up a problem. Okay, this is oil, right? So I had this hidden pivot resistance at 80. Didn't really have any cause to bring it up because it just sat there below 80. I have talked about this before. You don't have any support in oil. If this structure is correct, which it seems to be, the next support point in oil is at 65. And if you have oil at 65, you got to ask yourself, like, wow, what does that mean? Well, that means you have the economy or economies tanking. I mean, you're having currency declines, stock market crashes overseas. I mean, do these things, is this going to affect the value of, Arrow? No. But you can have problems later, which is why you want to stick with what's good. If you get an absurd amount of money in something, you'd be like, wow, this is a lot of money. That's the profit taking signal. You're like, wow, God, I really did good in this. Yeah, take that money. Take that money over the next 2 or 3 days. And if there's something you want to jump into, you can jump into it with a stop, right? It's like, there's nothing wrong with being flexible, particularly with weird stuff going on. Okay, Trump coin, interesting. It never got to its 38% retracement down here around 1230, 1240. So people really wanted it. The Kennedy coin crashed. That team is having problems executing. I wonder like how anybody stops this guy at this point, right? I mean, this coin, the only thing that makes this coin go down, I think, at this point, is the fact that there's no centralized exchange for whales to get exit liquidity, right? That's why you can have these, like, it goes up to 18 and then it drops to 12 because, there's just only so much liquidity to take profits. But if they turn this guy into a martyr, or they put him in jail in July, oh my God. Especially since you have debates happening before that. So this is probably not the only game in town anymore because of real world assets and Bitcoin and bank failures. But the United States as a country that is so politically divided it can't govern itself is going to have an impact on the dollar. And I have a theory that the higher the Trump coin goes, the lower the dollar can go. Okay, NEAR is bouncing off a trend line. This could be a head and shoulders bottom. It has not paid to buy strength in NEAR or really in anything except the big meme coins, but I'm willing to try it for 2 days. STX, layer 2s breaking out aggressively. Bitcoin layer 2s. I mean, if STX goes from $3 to $2, or $1.80, I mean, you can try to go with this. Try to go with it. If you get stopped out, okay, you get stopped out. But I mean, if this is like a real move, like if, in other words, if legacy just sort of like teeters, this allows people to go, oh, we need a new system. We need a new deal, right? Goldfinch, right? More DeFi real world asset stuff. This stuff is down. This stuff kind of got spanked post consensus. Yeah, it's kind of up today, but everyone's gonna be like, oh, I can't buy it because it's up. Well, dude, it's not up. It's either done nothing or gone down. Now, Arrow got spanked. Whatever. Honestly, whatever. TVL and base is up, and base is headed for $1.02. Now, I guess if it's below $1.02, it's a problem. But unless the stock market completely falls out of bed, DeFi and real world assets, especially when they're down, like, you might be buying this at $1.02 and you might be buying it at 96, right? Where's it going to be in 6 months? These are the questions you have to ask yourself. Now, again, you can have big disturbances that can hurt altcoins. So you have to be smart, right? You have to be smart. Like leverage in this environment. Oh no. Okay, maybe if you want to be long Bitcoin for like, day trades and stuff like that. Leverage in this thing makes no sense to me, but dollar cost averaging does. Because again, where is this stuff going to be in a couple months based on the warning signals that are coming out of legacy? Render. Nobody, absolutely nobody doing an AI trade. No one wants to do the trade in AI, and I don't understand it. Like the AI trade in equities is so mind-bogglingly overdone. It's overdone in one area and ignored in another. And in things like Render and any things like NOS or any of this stuff, doesn't it pay to take a chance? Because if you're right about this, Render's going to go to 11 and then 17. Okay, if you're wrong, I don't know. What do you do? Put a stop loss at, I don't know, 975 or something like that. There's like good risk reward. And if you're wrong, okay, well, so what? There'll be a big disturbance in legacy, and the decoupling and the rise of crypto will be at hand. PNG, cross-chain DeFi. This looks like a breakout to me. This did nothing during consensus, and then boom. It's up, and then there's a flag. This is a short-term chart, I know, but cross-chain, JTO, Solana staking, breaking trend lines. A little altcoin overtime, Tau trying to break out. Okay. So I think you get the idea. I think, taking a shot on some of this stuff, I don't know, kind of makes sense, right? Particularly if Bitcoin is okay. I mean, you get 2 good up days in Bitcoin and you get like a big euphoric new high. Hey, altcoins will follow. Now, does that last more than 2 or 3 days? We'll see, right? At the end of the day, whatever happens in June, you want to come out long Bitcoin, long Ethereum, long Solana, long real world assets, and you got to grab some of this AI stuff along with it. And anything in that DeFi category on base, like Arrow, True Finance, all this stuff. All this stuff. Okay, thoughts on Seamless. Let's take a look at that. Right, coming up with the share screen. Seamless on Coinbase. Okay, so the diamond formation didn't really work out here. Okay, looks like it wants to pay a visit to 461. You have a lot of what's called dispersion in altcoins, where some altcoins are going up and some altcoins are going down. Okay, let's just move this to a 4-hour chart. I think with coins like this, when they're not performing, you have to just say, all right, where's my support point and where do I want to get long? 461 would be the level I would look at. Okay. Hey, somebody said we have to get retail back in. Okay. Gen AI is running. Yeah, man. You know, some of this AI stuff is going to wake up. I mean, I was a little bit shocked. I was a little bit shocked at how little talk there was about AI at Consensus. I mean, it's almost like they just kind of blew it off. I'm like, wow, really? Okay, trying to get Gen AI chart up here. Okay, all I've got's a 4-hour chart, so I don't really have any data there. All right, let's wrap this up. There's something wrong in legacy, and whatever it is good for crypto. It is, because interest rates are going to go lower, and it's positive for the Bitcoin ETF. Remember, when you think about crypto from now on, you don't just think about what's good for altcoins. You think about what's good for these big ETFs, because they can take the market higher all by themselves. All by themselves. Altcoins, real world assets, AI. You want to get involved in stuff that's showing green shoots and popping up today? Do it and put a stop in. And because altcoins are like a sector rotation unto themselves, if you get euphoric action in big meme coins, you want to take the money and reallocate it to Bitcoin or sit and wait for an opportunity, I am not opposed to that. We'll see you tomorrow.